Doesn't make you question crime and corruption within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, then you might as well bury your head in the sand for the rest of your life. It appears that some of our role model police officers in Arima and other stations have been running a major car theft ring for years, and they set up and killed 21-year-old Isaiah Taylor to cover their crimes. Isaiah Taylor worked in construction and had a passion for hunting. He loved to go in the bush and hunt. He reared small animals such as chickens, ducks, and rabbits. Isaiah was not afraid of hard work. He took pride in any honest job as long as it paid fairly. He also worked community-based environmental protection and enhancement program and unemployment relief program. Since these programs were suspended, he began to work with the Spanish harvesting fig leaves and making Venezuelans empanadas. Isaiah was a young man who was not embarrassed about doing any honest work. He did not deserve to be executed. His only crime was placing trust in friends who were involved in major crimes with the police. They set Isaiah up to be executed by corrupt police officers, using him as a scapegoat to cover up their own crimes. There's also evidence that Isaiah was marked for death by his neighbor, who was a police officer that assaulted him in the past by illegally shooting at him in the community. This story is still developing, and we will update this page as more accurate information becomes available. It appears to be one of the biggest police corruption and crime incidents in Trinidad and Tobago, yet hasn't received nationwide coverage from major media outlets. This oversight is largely because the police contacted Ian Allen solely to share their narrative. Allen then quickly congratulated the police for killing Isaiah and labeled him as a car thief without investigating or reporting the facts. Let's listen to the police statement of events by SRP Ian Allen. Please pay attention to the obvious errors in this police statement.
Up drones and whatnot looking for other suspects. They've cordoned up the entire area. It's blocked even onto that side, and police are on that side. So again, the area has been cordoned off. They know who they are looking for. This is just good work. Again, we must congratulate the good work by the police here this afternoon. We don't know who the vehicle was. I mean, who owns the vehicle. But nevertheless, all we know, on the 1st of August, it was found in Arima and brought here. And after that, good afternoon. And after that, somebody walked in and they thief it. I like that. My researcher said, doing me like that. Stop saying stolen, say thief. Thief it, they thief it. And they go on with it. And then Wednesday the 6th, they saw it on the Churchill Roosevelt Highway and there was a pursuit. You understand? Now, we're going again. Now, this is the Polish. Now, we're giving you the Polish version of events. Stolen vehicle chase ends in fatal shooting at the... Now, I'm giving you a report about yesterday now. High-speed chase involving a stolen vehicle ended in a fatal Polish-involved shooting along the Churchill Roosevelt Highway in Aruka. Around 4:30, officers from the North Central Division Task Force area were on patrol in a marked police vehicle when they spotted a white Toyota Race, registration PEF 8433, the same vehicle that was stolen here and that was kept hush-hush. The same vehicle that was stolen here and kept hush-hush. When officers attempted to intercept the vehicle using siren and swivel lights, the driver sped off and began driving erratically. During the pursuit, officers said the front seat passenger was observed pointing what appeared to be a firearm at the police. The vehicle eventually turned into Orange Grove Road, extension to the back of Blue Waters facility, where the passenger continued aiming the weapon at the officers. As the vehicle came to a stop, the passenger exited the allegedly pointed the firearm directly at the police officer. You're looking at the scene right now, who opened fire in accordance with the TTPS use of force policy. The passenger managed to escape in the nearby bushes. The driver, who was injured during the incident, was taken to Eric William Medical Science Complex, where he was pronounced dead. His identity is yet to be confirmed.
First point, how does a vehicle driver or passenger point a gun at a car behind them at any speed, especially high speeds? Please try this. When you're on the road and driving at least 50 kilometers, point your right hand out your window at the car behind you. Your hand is not designed to bend that way, so you might have to break your hand. Then cross your left hand over your body and repeat the same motion. Also, tell your passenger to do the same. Please don't be a fool. Don't try this. You will crash. Try it while your vehicle is parked safely. The police said they were chasing the vehicle and noticed the passenger pointing a gun at them. Seriously, maybe they had a drone flying in front of the vehicle while they were allegedly chasing the vehicle.
Police! Stop! Stop the car! Say your badge! He has a gun! I shoot him!
Second point. The police reported that a passenger got out of the vehicle and pointed a gun at them. Is this behavior unique to Trinidad and Tobago? It's concerning that about 50 people each year are killed while pointing guns at police officers. This includes individuals pointing guns from their beds, inside cars, and even while walking down the street. Do people simply enjoy pointing guns at TPS officers for no reason? Or are the TPS officers so well trained with the cowboy quick draw that their response time prevents anyone from actually firing a shot? Third point. Does this vehicle appear to have been involved in a high-speed chase that ended with police intervention, like a sudden stop, or does it look like it is properly parked at the side of the road? This indicates that this car was stopped and parked waiting for something or someone. Fourth point. When criminals participate in organized car theft rings and they steal vehicles, how do they get to the vehicle? And how do they get back after dropping it off at a chop shop or another location? Where's their getaway vehicle? Do thieves use taxi stands when carrying out car thefts? Where's the getaway car? Last and most important point. Observe the 3 bullet holes in the windscreen. One on the driver's side, one in the middle, and one on the passenger side. Remember, the police stated the passenger got out of the vehicle and ran, and Isaiah was shot and killed in the vehicle. So, if Isaiah was in the driver's seat, he might have picked up one shot, right? However, Isaiah's body was riddled with gunshot wounds from his head to his feet, and his body was covered in mud. The gunshot fractured his skull. Also, 3 bullets entered the vehicle windscreen, and only 3 bullet holes were in the vehicle. So, does this look like self-defense or an execution? What really happened to Isaiah, and what does the evidence point to? A police operative illegally removed the video evidence from the station. So, we do not know who removed the SUV from the station on August 3rd and which corrupt police officer or officers assisted. However, there are private security cameras in the area and more information is coming in. It is also important to note that Isaiah was picked up by 2 people. The distance between Orange Grove Road in Tacarigua and Santa Grande is approximately a 40-minute drive, with good traffic and about 8 hours on foot. This is an important point to note. It has been alleged that a group of police officers from the Arima police station and other stations are operating a highly organized car theft ring. These police officers teamed up with a well-known contractor's son who funds the renting of vehicles, and they hire other people to move the stolen vehicles. The police officers and the contractor's son reportedly enlisted family members, friends, and associates to rent expensive vehicles, and then the police officers file false reports claiming those vehicles have been stolen. Before a vehicle is reported stolen, it would be driven around to give the impression on the GPS tracking that the vehicle was being used for legitimate purposes. The stolen cars are then shipped to small Caribbean islands, where they are sold or dismantled for parts, which are sold separately. This group particularly targets hybrid vehicles because of the valuable batteries they contain. The stolen SUV secured in the Arima police station was one of the vehicles involved in the car theft scheme. However, something went wrong. Allegedly, the SUV had been rented by a police officer who reported it stolen. Unfortunately, it was not picked up by the criminal driver team in time. We are unclear why the vehicle was not retrieved by the criminal driver team. Reports indicate that the battery was missing, which may have contributed to the situation. Consequently, the vehicle was taken to the Arima police station. No reports were recorded in the station logs regarding the stolen vehicle. The corrupt police were concerned that their car theft scheme would be uncovered, and they needed a way out of the situation. This was the situation in which Isaiah was set up as the scapegoat. He made the perfect scapegoat because he was already being threatened by a police officer from his community, who was also his neighbor. This police officer had fired shots at Isaiah's by his house in Quash Trace, Santa Grande. The officer, named PC Marcus Batiste, did not face any TPS discipline or charges for illegally discharging his gun. Since that incident, the officer and another officer frequently threatened Isaiah. The media reported the PC Batiste was defending a young lady. However, that was not the truth. The young lady was a 17-year-old girl, a minor, and she was Isaiah's sister. She was disobeying her mother by liming all day and night in PC Marcus Baptiste's house, and her brother Isaiah was being a good big brother by trying to get his 17-year-old minor sister to come home. So the TPS and the media story about the reason PC Marcus Baptiste fired his gun at people in his community was not the truth.
But you can't shoot you, boy. But you can't shoot you, boy. You can't shoot you. You can't shoot you. Can't fuck it. We don't lose you. Fuck all your boy. Shoot. Shoot, shoot. Shoot. By that why all you do to play mad and shoot me, boy. We don't need no police work for their gun, man. We don't need no police work. And anytime you feel they can shoot, now you're dead after, man. You're dead. Yeah, gang thing. Alright, the gang thing start here now. Gang thing start. Alright. Alright. Gang thing start. Gang thing start. That's what I'm telling all you. That's what I'm telling all you. You understand? Yeah. You better make sure nobody get pick up there. Eh? You better make sure nobody get pick up.
It's on tape, the whole.
Yeah. Shoot me too. You just shoot me too. You just shoot me too. Make sure nobody get pick up. I taping. Me pulling no curtain, Me pulling no curtain and hiding, I know why it's gunshot, Me hiding, Me hiding. I taping. I taping.
Unfortunately, Isaiah had 3 things against him. 1. The police wanted to cover up their car thief ring. 2. Police death threats. And 3. One of his friends that picked him up stole something valuable from the contractor's son, and it's believed that he told the contractor's son it was Isaiah. This is an update. Since we first reported this story, information came in that what the friend took from the contractor's son was allegedly a gun, and the profit from what the gun was for was not returned to the contractor's son. So Isaiah's 2 friends picked him up in Quash Trace, Sandy Grande on August 6th. We first reported that they went to the police station to pick up the SUV, but that was incorrect. The stolen SUV was missing from the police station from August 3rd. It appears that the 3 men drove to Orange Grove South Road area, where we believe the stolen SUV was hidden. If you observe, the stolen SUV was perfectly parked at the side of the road, touching the grass on the driver's side. The police execution team arrived. If Isaiah was in that vehicle, he was taken out of the vehicle or was ordered out of the vehicle. However, since we first reported this story, analysis of the crime scene, physical evidence from Isaiah's body, and the condition of the vehicle is pointing to evidence that Isaiah was never in that vehicle. The police placed him at the side of the road in the mud and sprayed his body with the gunshots. Then they pumped 3 shots in the SUV windscreen and stated that Isaiah was shot and killed in the vehicle. Since the reporting of this story, we have received reports that there was no passenger in the vehicle with Isaiah and nobody ran, as the police reported. This information is being verified, and we will update the information in part 2 of this story. If this information is verified, Isaiah friends and the police have questions to answer. Like, why did the police say the passenger got out of the vehicle and pointed a gun, and they shot Isaiah instead of shooting the person pointing the gun at close range? So, TPS officers don't shoot people pointing guns at them anymore. Also, why did the police state through Ian Allen that they know who they were looking for, yet no arrest or photos were published. How did they know who they were looking for when the person ran? The police took Isaiah's dead body to the hospital, and they quickly left without providing any information as is required by law. He was registered as a John Doe with a birth date of August 2025. They also called Ian Allen to tell their side of the story. No other media house was on the scene to report the story. How do we know there was 2 vehicles and that the police lied when they stated the passenger ran? Remember, we stated that the distance between Orange Grove Road in Tacarigua and where Isaiah lived in Sangre Grande was about 40 minutes drive and about 8-hour walking. Well, Isaiah, so-called friend, reached back in the community where Isaiah lived and told people that Isaiah was just killed by the police. He was back in the community in about 2 hours from the time Isaiah was killed. If he ran, how did he know Isaiah was killed? If he ran in the bush and was hiding and the crime scene was surrounded by police and drones were flying above looking for the suspects, how did he manage to get back to Sangre Grande? If he ran and the police stated that they knew he was there, why did he return to a place where he could easily be found? This was a friend who attended primary school with Isaiah, and although others warned Isaiah that this friend was no good, he believed that people can change and wanted to give him a chance. Isaiah's 2 friends then turned him over to the police hit squad. Afterwards, they got into the same heavily tinted vehicle that they had picked him up in, and they drove back home as if everything was normal. This is the friend that Isaiah trusted. The other man in the car is known, but his identity is being confirmed. It is important to note that the police have not yet presented any evidence regarding Isaiah's knowledge or alleged involvement in the police car theft scheme. No one knows why he was driving that stolen SUV, if he was actually the driver, or what he knew about the SUV. Whether or not it is discovered that he had knowledge of the stolen vehicle scheme should not affect criminal accountability for his killing by the police. The primary factors contributing to Isaiah's death are corrupt police officers and poor friends' choices. While crime cannot be completely prevented, the presence of corrupt police significantly exacerbates the situation. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service refuses to use the body cameras that taxpayers invested millions of dollars in, likely in an effort to conceal their misconduct. The state of emergency has not resulted in any major arrests or improvements. Instead, more innocent individuals and replaceable foot soldiers have lost their lives, with no substantial progress in addressing crime by the police commissioner during this period. The big fishes are still swimming. The TPS does not properly investigate police shootings that occur during operations, and they tend to stall requests for police reports and investigations. The Police Complaints Authority is currently the only agency the public can rely on for oversight. However, the PCA's director is facing pressure from the police commissioner and others within the TPS who are attempting to remove him from office. Additionally, the PCA receives only about 10% of the funding it requires, less than $20 million each year, to effectively conduct investigations into police misconduct and corruption. This is the major reason why cases are not closed by the PCA. The PCA is being intentionally underfunded. The police commissioner has issued new shooting orders to officers that state, "Shoot if you feel threatened," which essentially is a stand-your-ground law. Stand your ground is not legal in Trinidad and Tobago. The police already have self-defense and escalation of force powers. The Commissioner of Police issued an illegal and unconstitutional directive. He does not have constitutional powers to implement new laws or amend laws. His directive will lead to the killing of hundreds of citizens. The United National Congress remains silent on these issues. Isaiah's family deserves timely justice. But without genuine reform and transformation within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, corruption and unjustified killings are likely to continue and increase.